Hello everyone, and nice to meet you again in our studio. And today we'll talk about one of two main characters of our new game, Career IL2 series. And while we talking about airplane, here is Victor again. Hello, Victor.
Hello everyone.
So our talk today is about F-86 Sabre, right?
Yeah.
And let's in the first part talk about why it's called like milestone airplane in aviation history, why it's opening the new second generation of jet fighters, and how it turned out that this airplane became so famous in our minds.
Let's begin a little bit earlier from the story. In 1944, there was design research for the single-seat fighter, jet-powered fighter for supply of United States Army and Navy. So by design, by 1945, there was FG-1 Fury, which was designed for the Navy. It was straight-wing airplane, which was produced for Navy. So North American tried to make airplane based on the design of FG-1 Fury, but by the comparison and the calculation of estimated data, it was turned out so that it was not much better than F-80 or F-84, which were in development at the same moment. So North American decided to move on and take some experience from Germans. From 1945, there was such program called Paperclip, which was data gathering from German engineering and mostly aviation engineering. And in case of Sabre, it was about swept wing design, which Germans evaluated during World War II. And actually, it was quite, if to tell about this wing, it was used on MA262. It was 20 degrees swept wing, not a huge swept angle. So by the research of German, there was swept wing solved the problem of air pressure,
Air focus shifting.
Air focus shifting, which caused airplanes with straight wing when closer to the sound barrier, there was prone to dive, nose dive on high speeds. So in case of swept wing, this effect move it on the higher speeds, so it allowed airplanes to fly with higher speeds. So in case of Sabre, North American changed design from straight wing to the swept wing, and it turned out that they win the concurrence for the airplane because it's take the Sabre to give a much more speed advantage over the straight wing airplanes. So that's the main feature. It was the first airplane, American mass-produced airplane with a swept wing design.
Yeah, and it has opened in Western history. It has opened the story of second generation
subsonic airplanes. Yes.
Yeah. So what is second generation fighters? It's fighters with swept wing which can perform transonic
speeds. Yes.
Yeah, very simple. So let's describe a bit more about airplane history from its roots and to the end of its service story.
Well, the basic airplane was A1 modification, which was the first production series. It's began to supply fighter units in 1949. First fighter wing. It's interesting story that 94 Squadron, which was Hat in the Ring squadron, which we know from the Rise of Light, you know. So the same squadron was mostly one of the first which was supplied with Sabres, and rumors told that Saber nickname was actually given in First Fighters group.
Was there any kind of grandson of Rickenbacker?
Nobody knows. Also interesting thing about the development of Saber, that Edgar Schmude, which we know from Mustang development, was again in the head of the design team for the airplane, and later on it was head of design team. I think it was Super Saber had F-100, and so Schmude played huge role in this kind of airplanes. So most interesting features of the airplane was first swept wing, which was also equipped with automatic sleds from all span of the wings. Also, it has air brakes, which quite of a big area, so it give it an advantage for airplane during dives or combats. So it was able to slow down or maybe to reduce speeds on the turns, to make sharper turns. Also, mostly it basic aerodynamics of airplanes give it its ability to stable divings on higher speeds. So in case of combats, if also, especially if compared to MiG-15, Saber was a little bit heavier than MiG-15, almost by 1 ton. But because of its better aerodynamics and heavier weight, it was able to dive away from combat by MiGs. Also, MiG was prone have problems with wing bending. It's called. So during the dives, wing were bending because of not enough strength of the wing. Also, sometimes it's caused by problems of production. Those airplanes was kind of differing size on the wing.
Unsymmetrical.
Unsymmetrical, yes. So in case of the dives, MiG were prone to wing bend, and airplane was wing to sides, and was very hard to evade this problem. So Sabres were, in case of problems.
Wasn't it some kind of aileron inversion problem, not? Or not?
Mostly it was about actually wing bend and wing asymmetrics. Later on,
because the same story may happen when your wing is not hard enough, and on high speeds you can decline your ailerons, and it will cause wing bending, and effect from ailerons will be inverse. So you push your stick to right, and the plane starts rotating.
Well, it's connected to this problem as well, of course. So that's it.
It's very widely presented on modern civilian airplanes, especially on modern ones, because their wing is very light, and it's usually solved by using so-called speed ailerons, which located not on the tip of the wing, but in the root of the wing. When your speed is high, you're using ailerons on the wing roots, which will not cause wing bending. But it was not invented in that times.
So about A1 modifications, also another interesting feature of airplane was gun ports. Airplane was armed with 6 M3 machine guns, just like F-80, F-84, and it have gun ports covers which automatically open it during firing of machine guns. And actually, this port was not very successful because with on high altitudes, with temperature changes, it was prone to froze and malfunction of firing. So on later modification, which was later became A5 model of Saber, this gun ports was replaced by fixed open ports.
Yeah, and this is a very usual story. in combat aviation. We can remember story of Lavochkin fighters, which on prototype stage were very aerodynamic, clean. This was one of feature of Lavochkin Design Bureau, and every gap was how to say
Sealed.
Yeah, sealed. Every line was very smooth, but when it came to mass production, it's turned out that it's very hard to maintain this quality in mass production. Plus
Simplification of the production.
Plus special elements, which special complex elements which designed to smoothen the aerodynamics may cause less надежность. Reliability. In this way, we see that in mass production, airplane become usually very simpler, and with router, more rough aerodynamics. So the same thing we see with Saber. Idea was, in terms of aerodynamic design, it was a super idea, but when we come to mass production and technological process, this has become the problem. From our side, we see now in modern aviation that in fifth generation fighters, they have turned back to this idea, and all fifth generation fighters have these covers for gun ports. But the reason is it's because of radar cross section.
So after the A1, there was A5 modification, which were a little bit improved over the A1. Last batches of the serial production of A5 received the same engine as next modification E model. As on early models, there was Dash 7, J47, JS7. And last batches of the Sabres received Dash 13 engine, which was a little bit powerful than previous modifications. So in case of our modification, which will be presented in Korea project, it's quite almost the same as E model, except the next feature which was introduced on E model. It's a hydraulically operated vertical stabilizer, horizontal stabilizer, as it was design which will try to improve handlings on high speeds of airplane, because when in the dives, even with swept wings, there was a problem of pulling back from the dives, and the pilots were unable, because of high load on sticks and compressibility on the stabilizer. So E models was equipped with there was still elevator on this. It was not actually the wall. One-piece stabilizer, but it was still present with a vertical stabilizer, which was acting like kind of a trimmer or a reverse trimmer for the wall stabilizer. So on E model there was introduced the hydraulically operated stabilizer. Later on there was next modification F model, which were another power up of the engines, and also on the late modification of F, there was introduction of so-called 6-3 wing. The thing is that the wing construction, when the automatic slats placed, there was kind of detachable. There was attached to the front spar of the airplane. So, so there was quite a simple modification. They just changed the leading edge of airplane. It increased area of the wing, and also it increased the maneuverability of airplane on high speeds and big altitudes. So it, but it's decreased.
What was the trouble in compared to MiG-15, right?
Yeah. So it increased the maneuverability on high speeds, but it's decreased the characteristic on low speed, because there was no slots. And as a fact, on the later models of F-40, they get back to the sleds, but with a bigger height of the wing, and also they also increased the span of the airplane. So very late models of F was with the same sleds.
If talk about whole tuning horizontal stabilizer in contour of pitch control of airplane, right? When it's one of two main characteristics of third generation fighters, because third generation fighter is first of all it's a supersonic fighter with afterburner and with whole controlled horizontal stabilizer,
One-piece stabilizer.
because on supersonic speeds there is no another way to control airplane in pitch, only but whole turned horizontal stabilizer. But so this does not mean that this modification of Sabre became third generation, because it still was subsonic airplane
Subsonic,
without afterburner, right?
Actually, there was take on the sound barrier, but mostly in the dives. So it not in the horizontal speed. So
Yeah.
that's because it's called subsonic. Another interesting feature of the Sabre, it was A models were equipped to carry range radar, which for the gun sighting. But actually, first models, it seems it was an APG-5 radar and A1B gun sight. But it seems by the photos, most of airplanes were equipped with just like in Second World War, just a simple gyroscopic gun sight, which was Mark 18. And some of the latest models of A1 received an APG-30 with A1 CM gun sight. So in case of our project, we will be basic model with Mark 18 gun sight, with modification to with radar and A1 CM gun sight. And actually interesting thing that the airplane which was shut down by Pepelayev and then evaluated in Moscow was actually A5 model with this modification.
And what is post-Korean War story of airplane?
There was also some modifications. It's like there was D model is called Saber dog with such saw nose. There was added radar as it was all-weather interceptor with rockets under the belly, which was without guns.
Unguided rockets, right?
Unguided rockets, yes.
So way back to ideas of World War II, yeah?
It actually it was Korean War modification, but it never took in Korea, so it was in States and air defense. And there was later some kind of H models.
It's very simple to understand, because actually in Korea we don't see any hordes of 2-4 or something. No mass using of heavy bombers in Korea. While these unguided rockets were designed to intercept and shut down heavy bombers of the enemy, right?
Yeah. And actually, there was H model with a more powerful engine. With also Canadians produced by license Sabres, as well as Australians produced by license. And actually, latest models of late model of Sabres, which were supplied by other countries' air forces, last of them was withdrawn for Air Force in 1993 from Bolivian Air Force, so it's still in service by 1993.
Yeah, so airplane have 45 years of service story, right?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, simple, rugged.
Yeah. So in looking on this service story, it's became not so surprising that we see Mustangs in Korean War, right? Which was just 10 years after Mustang have introduced the war story, right?
Yeah.
So let's switch to next part, which is about story of combat story of airplane in Korean War.
Well, so as we speak before, the main on the start of the Korean War, the main players was F-40 Shooting Stars. There was some twin Mustangs as well and Mustangs. And around October of 1950, there was appearing of MiG-15s, which were much better than straight-wing airplanes, than Shooting Stars, than F-84 Thunderjet. And Americans were quite worried about it, so they moved the newest airplane, Sabres, which were already in equipment of Air Force, and they appeared in Korea around December of 1950. First combat sortie happened in 15 December of 1950, and 2 days later there was first kill taken over the MiG, and 24 December there was first lost in combat against MiG-15. So it's mostly a period against MiG-15s, so counteraction for the introduction of newest Soviet airplane in the area.
So which famous events of Korea War was took part by Sabre?
Well, it's hard to say about Sabre because it was mostly against B-29s. It was Black Tuesday and Black Wednesday, which happened against interception of B-29s.
Not Wednesday, четверг, Thursday. Black
Thursday.
Tuesday and Black Thursday.
Black Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, so it mostly combats against interception of B-59 by MiG-15. So it's not quite against Sabres, but it's mostly notable combats between them. And so mostly Sabres was fighting against MiGs because there was nothing else.
So let's describe a little bit more, maybe again, how modifications of Sabre were presented in Korea War by the time.
So A model appeared first in December, as I said before. It mostly in around of autumn of 1951, August, September, October, begin appearance of E models, and final withdrawal of A models. The last combat was recorded around July of 1952. So for the 1951, the main player was A model. Later it became slowly replaced by E models. Around autumn of 1952, there was start appearance of F models, and from this period, around end of 1952, there was mostly presented by F and E models of Sabres.
So, and one question here, which we can receive from our community, is why we have choose A5 model to design in our game?
Well, it's as I told before, it was most presented modification for 1951, which we mostly interested in because mostly notable combats happened there. And that was the choice. And actually, the choice was on the last block of the A5 with the most powerful engine, which E model have. So there was not much difference between these two in performance. Only difference will be in controllability on high speed on pitch. But I think it won't affect very much because we have terminators in the chair, the warm chairs, which pulling the sticks without G-forces on them. So I think it will be notable, but not very much in this case.
Okay, so let's switch to most hot topic of our today meeting. And of course, it's about comparison and the struggle between Sabre and MiG-15. So
we compare the two. So we compare these two. They were actually they was pretty much the same, but different in which they were one better and worse. Sabre have higher dive speeds, it have better performance on low altitudes, but with when altitude rises, MiG gained advantage over the Sabre. It have better. The only thing MiG-15 have better climb rate on the deck. Everything other was a little bit worse. Sabre were more maneuverable because wing slats and actually bigger area of the wing. Also, it was very big advantage that the airplane were equipped with anti-G suites for the pilots, which MiG didn't have almost until the end of the Korean War. So with rise of altitude, MiG-15 became a little bit faster. So on low altitudes, Sabres were better. On higher altitudes, MiGs were better. And the most advantage was clean bright and bigger service ceiling. MiG-15 we have 15.5 kilometers and Sabre 1 kilometer lower. So 14.5.
So if dogfight appeared on low altitudes, Sabre have had better turn rates, right?
Better turn rates, but worse climb rate. So mostly MiG used interesting situation that in the Second World War, Soviet pilots mostly used
horizontal
maneuvers because Germans have better climb rate. And Korean things changed.
Everything turned around.
Everything turned around. So MiGs were using mostly verticals, and they dragged Sabres on higher altitudes, and with raising of advantage they were gaining better attacking position, and in case of Sabre were losing, so they were just diving away, because MiG were prone to wing bending, wing twisting, and actually Sabre were much more stable on dives, because it's accelerated better because it was heavier, almost 1 ton than MiG-15. Well, and another question is its armament.
Yeah, it's most how to say controversial,
flaming topic.
And flaming topic.
Machine guns or cannons.
Yeah.
So Sabre were equipped with 6 M3 machine guns as F-80, F-84. MiG-15 was equipped with N37 37mm cannon and 2 23mm cannons. It was NS-23 or later NR-33. The problem of MiG-15 was the ammunition was very low. So 37mm cannon was 40 or 60 shells. 23mm cannon was 120, and Sabre was have 300 rounds per machine gun. So in case of combat, it was quite able to shoot a lot if compared to MiG-15. But MiG-15 was, in case of pilots were able to gain hits, it was mostly doomed for enemy airplanes. But and actually it was mostly used against as interceptor against B-29s. So it have more effective against big airplanes.
So my theory is that this difference in armament of two airplanes is because Sabre were designed more as airplane which should counteract one-seater enemy jet fighters or two-engine front bombers, something like that, but not hordes of Soviet heavy strategic bombers, because in that times there is no hordes of heavy strategic bombers at all. Yeah, there was not a big number of 2-4, but at the times when Sabre was designed, it was not some kind of massive trouble for them. From Soviet side, we have totally different situation, because Americans have had huge amount of strategic bombers, B-29, And this airplane, strategic bomber, is very big. It have 4 engines. It's maybe 4 times bigger wingspan than MiG-15, right? And it will be very hard to shoot down it by any kind of machine guns. So you need big cannons to make big holes in big planes, right? And this means that MiG-15 was designed more. It's just my theory, guys. Was designed more like interceptor, while Saber was designed more like fighter. Maybe I'm wrong, but we see that in the after time have passed and Soviets have received their own strategic aviation with hordes of strategic bombers. American the fighters design have switched to autocannons, and but from our hand, in dogfight between 2 jet planes, maybe variant with many machine guns with total rate of fire around 8,000 shots per minute. It's very comparable to Vulcan cannon, yeah, maybe more. So this is maybe the best choice, because you can perform tactics which mean the great name.
Oh, spraying fire against enemy. So it's still a topic of discussion, which is better, because in case of, let's say, as Daniel told right now, in case of dogfight, let's say 2-on-2, when one dragging another pursuing, and he's winging trying to shoot pursuer down. In case of Saber, you can spray your fire against enemy from very long distance, and it actually can very dangerous, because it can hit in the head, and pilot will die. In the case of MiG-15, because of very low ammunition, you should be very careful for expending ammunition. But in case if you hit, you will hit. So it really depends on the situation, on the pilot class, on the gun sight, as Saber have advantage in sighting system with the range radar and better gun sight. So it's still a topic of discussion, I'd say. So it's in case of which better you prefer, which better you take. I still think in case of MiG-15, it's better to have it for 24mm cannons instead of 2-13 and 137. Maybe it will be better, and
it's better for dogfight, but not better for intercepting
well, I think
29.
I think 23mm cannons will be quite enough to intercept B-29, maybe, but it's quite my opinion.
Hard to say, but it's to be fair, this holy war continues, because right now we see that in modern jet fighters, 5th generation jet fighters, there is still the difference in armament. Americans use 20mm, and we use 30mm with lower rate of fire. So there is still no answer, and I think that on this note, on this point, we will end our today meeting, and thank you for watching. Set your likes, subscribe to our channel, and please follow our next brief room releases,
and ask questions also as well.
Yeah, ask questions as well. We'll answer this question next time. And thank you for watching, guys. Goodbye.
See ya.
Thank you.